Today I painted a mural on this kitchen wall. My client wanted to leave this painting on the wall and have it kind of blend into the mural. There's actually a couple other paintings that they wanted to blend into the mural as well, but those weren't hanging on the wall yet, so I just didn't include them in the video. So what I did is I matched the horizon in all of the paintings at the level that I wanted to hang them at, and then I just kind of started painting out, adding the surrounding landscape around them. Obviously, it's not going to be a seamless match because all of the paintings were actually different. Some had sunsets, some had the night sky, but we just decided that it would be somewhat of a match, and it just looks like this tropical paradise escape. So here's what it looks like all finished before I hung the paintings back on the wall. This mural is 100% freehand, painted with interior house paint and acrylic paint. I used a mix of brushes and sponges to create the look that you see here. And here I am hanging the painting back on the wall in its original place. And guess what? It has lights. I've never seen a piece of art light up before, so that's cool. Anyways, here's the final look. Let me know what you think in the comment. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. This wall is in the dining hall of an assisted living facility, and it desperately needs a mural. And because the facility is in Niverville, which is in Manitoba, Canada, they requested that I paint a prairie scene. I had the prairies meet up with a little pond situation, and then I put a dirt road right in the center for a focal point. They wanted to keep the mural really simple and just have it as a large landscape piece. You'll notice that the bottom 3 feet of this mural is not painted, and that's because they're going to put wainscoting there because the tables and chairs always bump up against that piece, and they didn't want the mural to get damaged. I didn't want this mural to get too boring, so I added the tree close up with the florals just to add a little bit of brightness to it. And on the other side, I did the same with the lily pads and the rocks just to give you a little bit more to look at. Other than that, I just kept it a really huge landscape piece, and it was so much fun to paint. And because this mural doesn't cover the entire wall, I did a little watercolor fade effect at the edges so that there's no hard lines and no cutoff points. This is a really great option if you don't want to cover the entire wall, but you still want a mural there. Anyways, you can tell I don't have final video with the wainscoting, but you kind of get the effect. I think it's so beautiful, and it gives the people living here something to look at while they have their dinner. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I'm about to paint a mural for one of the biggest sports fans I've ever met. The man who lives here is obsessed with sports, and of course his favorite teams have to be the Winnipeg Jets, the Blue Bombers, and the Toronto Blue Jays. I say that because if you don't know, I am from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and our local teams are the Winnipeg Jets and the Blue Bombers. We do have a local baseball team called the Gold Eyes, but if you have a favorite MLB team and you're Canadian, it's probably the Toronto Blue Jays. So just to recap in case you didn't get it, the Toronto Blue Jays is baseball, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is football, and the Winnipeg Jets obviously is hockey. So here it is all finished. I lucked out with this because all 3 teams actually have a similar blue in their color palette. It made it really easy to transition from one team to another. Also, one thing I've learned when painting sports murals is that you want to keep the players looking a little bit more generic. That way, if they're ever traded, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to go back and repaint a face or a number on their jersey. So if you notice, I strategically placed these little beams of light that kind of block their faces. I pulled all my little tricks to make it easier to hide the face. And then, yeah, I just didn't include any numbers or anything. But one thing he asked for was to make the mural really pop. So for this, I painted the whole thing in my pop art style. Then I used my black line work and my white line work to really punch it up and make it pop off the wall. All in all, the reaction was incredible. He totally loved this mural, and so did his family. And so to quickly answer some questions, yes, this is a freehand mural. It is painted with interior house paint. I didn't arrive at this mural with any idea of what it would look like. Just whatever happens, happens. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Today I painted the entranceway of École Sainte-Anne Immersion. That's a French immersion school here in Manitoba, Canada. They requested a mural that's similar to a mural that I painted a couple years back. So it's cool because I got to recreate the same vibe, but I added in a whole new flair. So this does happen quite often where a client will go through my portfolio and they will pick an image that they've seen me paint before and then ask me to recreate it. But of course, I can never recreate the same image twice. I just don't think I'm capable of doing that. So every single mural I paint is brand new. So I'll just draw inspiration from my previous murals, but I'll add in the little elements that the client requests based on their preference. So to give you an example, the inspiration for this mural was this picture here. You can see the children looking at the mural are all painted in black and white, and that's exactly what I recreated for this mural, except every single child is different. The image they're looking at is also different, but I did keep some similar elements like the florals and, of course, the butterflies. Something that was requested was that we stick to the same theme of the previous mural, which was inclusion and diversity. And here it is, all done. The thing I love about this mural is that I made the butterflies flying out of the painting. And then, of course, if you know me, you know that I try to put teddy bears in almost all of my work. So there he is, hidden in there. There are lots of little elements in this mural that were special requests from the teachers. And so I incorporated those by putting them on t-shirts and just wherever they felt right. So although the theme of this mural is inclusion and diversity, and that's represented in the children, I wanted the focus of this mural to be the art. So that's why it's painted in this way with the black and white versus the color. So hopefully the viewer understands that it doesn't matter who you are or what you look like.
Art can bring us together and unite us. And after I was done painting, I got to pose with the kids, and then they sent me the picture. Look at how cute it is!